If your heart starts racing, your stomach drops, and you can't stop thinking about them, that might not be love. That might be your nervous system bracing for the next hit. Hi, I'm Gabby Roberts. Welcome back to the Grow with Gabby podcast. Today, we are talking about love versus attachment. This can be really confusing because so many humans think they're in love when really they are attached to this person. So we're really going to focus today on how to spot trauma chemistry, why those butterflies that you feel in your stomach may not be green flags like you think they are, and what real love actually feels like. And before we dive in, make sure that you hit that follow and subscribe button so you never miss another episode. All right, let's dive in. Let's first start talking a little bit about the truth bomb, which sounds a little similar to a love bomb. And if you've never heard of this, that means this partner of yours is showering you with gifts. They are being very flashy and materialistic, and most of us weren't taught what love really felt like. So when it comes to love bombing, we're like, man, this is lovely. They're giving me gifts. They're showering me with attention. This is nice. But really, is it nice? Is it really like as good as it feels and looks from the outside? Because trauma bonding and love bombing and nervous system lust like that can feel very confusing. And those bodies, those butterflies that you're getting when you're being love bombed isn't actually true love. It may feel like that in the moment, but love, and we're going to get into this in a second, love doesn't disrupt the nervous system that way. So one is excitement and one is danger. And sometimes danger and excitement can feel really similar in the body because the body is feeling the same in some of those situations. So same feeling, different label, if you will. And when the body feels really excited, your heart rate goes up. Your palms may start sweating. You may feel a little, overwhelmed, anxious even. That's how we can feel when we're nervous. So when someone is just showering you with gifts, it can feel, again, just very confusing. So let's go over a couple really key differences between lust, love, and attachment, okay? Because they're very different, but they can feel very similar. So while you listen to this list here and I go through, please don't judge yourself. If you are someone who is very deeply attached to your partner, there's nothing wrong with you. In fact, you're probably this way because someone taught you how to love in that way. So please don't judge yourself as we go through this list, okay? So the first one is lust. What does lust look like, feel like in a relationship? This is fast and fiery and a fantasy of a person, right? This is like chemistry over clarity. Like, I don't really know why I'm with them, but it feels good. I'm attracted to them. It's fun, very high highs, low lows, and not a whole lot of stability there. Okay, so that's lust. This is very similar to attachment, but attachment is like deeper rooted than lust. Okay, attachment is like you're so anxious, I love you, please don't leave me kind of thing. Like you're anxious and obsessed with them, obsessed with the relationship, obsessed with just everything that has to do with it because you're perfecting, you're performing, because there's such high highs and low lows. What if they leave? So there is a deep fear of abandonment here with attachment specifically. And there's different types of attachment styles, and I can get into that on a different podcast episode. But this is mostly anxious and obsessive is what you're going to see with a lot of this attachment here. So this is where the love bomb comes in. It's if I love bomb them, maybe they won't leave me, right? And same thing for here is like, wow, they're taking care of me so much. They're really like sweeping me off my feet, the shiny objects, the materialism. They must love me. But really, it's just saying, I'm obsessed with you. Please don't leave me. Okay. So then we have love, real love. And dare I say, real love can feel a bit boring at times because it's so calm. It's so present. It's so steady. And feeling safe is very important here when it comes to love, because if you feel safe, you want to stay. You want to build a life with that person because you can feel calm with them, whether you're talking or not, whether you're performing or not. This is something that's built over time, slow and steady and consistently. And it's not something that you have to chase or perfect or perform. Okay. So it's more like if this feels like a roller coaster, it probably is, because love is really steady and present and consistent. It's not these big high highs and low lows. You're not happy as hell one day and posting each other and like so in love, and then the next day you're screaming and fighting and like breaking up, and getting back together for the sixth time because you're like, please don't leave me. That's attachment, okay? So love isn't supposed to feel like you're waiting to get picked, okay? So let's look at some of the red flags that we have here. You are feeling like you're really, really high around them, like you're just like genuinely on a drug, like they're your favorite drug, okay? But you kind of crash when they leave you. So that's a huge red flag. If you're feeling really emotionally exhausted when they're not around. So you think about them 24/7. That's another really bad red flag because, yeah, you think of your partner when you're in love, but not like that. Not 24/7, like obsessive thoughts. It's like fear of, am I going to lose them? Are they happy? What are they doing? Can I trust them? Stuff like that, which isn't love. That's attachment. So you're more attracted sometimes when they pull away. This is a big sign because if you've been taught toxicity from a narcissistic person, they love that. They want to push you away, but then pull you in at the same time, which can feel very confusing. So another red flag is that fact that you ignore your gut because the chemistry is so great, it's so amazing, the sex is awesome, it's very high highs, you're very physical, he's showing you off, he's telling you all about things, his life, and it's so fast, and it's you burn big and you burn bright, and most times you burn out because if it's lust and it's attachment, you don't have that fundamental safety that you need to move forward, okay? So we mistake this powerful intensity for intimacy. And sometimes when we don't have that, it can feel very confusing because we are just looking for what we know. And the nervous system really loves predictability. So sometimes you can be really attached to someone and it not be in a good way. It's just familiar, and your body and your mind will always go back to what's familiar. So you have to be really intentional of is this serving me at a higher level? Is this person making me feel safe? Is this someone who's just familiar of another person who hurt me? For example, I had a very narcissistic father growing up, and I tried my whole life to stay away from people like that, and I ended up marrying someone just like him. And I didn't realize it at first because he was nice and he was sweet and he was charming and he was manipulative, but I just didn't realize until it was too late because I was so deeply attached. I was like, well, this must be love, la la la. I convinced myself to stay, and I wasn't happy. So we just sometimes have to really sit back and be like, am I happy? Is this so hard? Because love isn't so hard. If you're forcing and forcing and forcing and perfecting, that's not love. Love isn't easy, but it's not that hard either, So let's talk about what love really is. What does that feel like? What does that look like? It's calm. It's not chaotic. Again, sometimes it's a little boring. You're like, what the heck are we doing here? But I'd rather be bored than be in some toxic cycle, being love bombed and lied to and manipulated, And I think you would too, right? So you don't have to perform or prove anything. You can feel safe in silence next to them. Like you just feel comforted by their presence. It's not this constant, are they going to leave me? Are they happy? Am I doing enough to keep them? It's simply just safe. Healthy love does not spike your nervous system. It soothes it every time. So if you're feeling like they're causing you chaos and pain, that might not be love, okay? So those butterflies that you're feeling in your stomach, that could just be your nervous system saying, something's not safe here. The real love doesn't feel like this spark, which can feel confusing because you meet someone and you're like, where's the passion? Where's the butterflies? Where's the spark? It doesn't mean you're not in love. It just means you're not attached, which is a good thing, okay? So peace is the point, not the performance, not the perfecting, not the love bomb, burn big, burn bright, and burn out kind of vibe. No. So you're not broken if calm love feels really boring at first. In fact, I am 3 years into my very healthy relationship, and I still sometimes am being like, why is he not gaslighting me? Why is he not yelling at me? Where's the passion, aka the drama, the toxicity that I was raised with that I thought was love? So you're just healing. You're not broken. And I understand if that may feel a little uncomfortable at first, but just know you're on the right path to finding someone who really does love you. And it all starts with you, what you're willing to handle. Okay. So quick recap. We went over a little bit of what is lust, what is love, what is attachment, what are some red flags that come up with the love, with the attachment and with the lust side of things, and then what does real healthy love actually feel like in the body. So now you know what to look for. And it's okay if right now you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, shit, I may be deeply attached to this person. It doesn't mean you have to break up. It just means sometimes that you need to set some healthy boundaries and just learn what you really want in this love, in this life, okay? So if this episode helped you untangle something in your heart and you're like, oh man, I really got some clarity from this, please share it with a friend, because that's really the only way that this podcast grows, is by you sharing it. So if you have social media, feel free to take a screenshot of the episode and post it on your social media. My Instagram handle is gabbyroberts.coach, so tag me in it. I'd love to just personally thank you for listening, because it means the world to me. So text somebody who needs it, tag them, share it on your story. DM me when you do, because again, I want to just thank you for being here and supporting my podcast and learning and growing, because I know how hard that can be sometimes. So if you're feeling like, man, I need to be in your world, Gabby, like how can I learn more about this topic or get clear on other topics that you're dropping that is similar to today, I have a free group on the school community platform. It's called Aligned Unapologetic. And in there, we're really focusing on breaking that generational trauma and showing people that they don't have to settle for less, and show them that they get to build a beautiful life full of love, that they get to decide what that looks and feels like, okay? And something that's good for their nervous system. So I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every single day, every single week. I will see you next week. Be fearless, be free, and do it your way, even if it's messy.